Hey, welcome to another episode of Cooks Who Care, where we talk to operators, leaders, people of different facets of the industry to tell you untold stories that don't get a lot of attention. And we're glad that you're following with us because we want to help you see other sides of the business from their point of view. We are going to be talking with Scott Sumsky, who's the chef of Calaca, Feliz, and I'm excited to share his background and his unique experience. Talk about where you are right now presently. So how did you get your start in Mexican cooking and it became something that you aspire to continue to do?
Actually goes all the way back to 2005 when I was working at Alves. It's a restaurant in Sanford Street down in Center City. Started as a lunch guy there, line cook. Was working there several days a week at the same time while I was doing dinner at Amada. And burritos, tacos, just good old-fashioned Mexican comfort food. So along the way, I met Tim Spinner, who's the owner here, and we became really good friends and worked alongside each other. Got our butts kicked many times at Amada, and then he really liked what I was putting out and my work ethic, and he kind of took me under his wing and got me a spot at Amada. And we cooked for a couple years there. And then I kind of parted ways for a few years. And only back in January of 2014, I got a call from Tim Spinner saying, hey, really looking for someone solid. And I wasn't really anywhere at that time. And I decided to give it a shot. Yeah. You're going to spend hours with these people. You need to be able to want to be around them for that time period, and that kind of helps you put out really great food. Because if you don't click, sometimes if things don't jive, you're not going to be able to want to be there and put out good food. You're just going to be miserable all the time. So having that solid team at your side is really key in putting out really good food.
And finding that fit, right? Like I like what you're trying to touch on.
Yeah, sometimes it's not about the ego. It's about everyone being able to mesh well together. And if you find that solid team, which I'm proud to say we do have a really good click here. Not a lot of ego, just a lot of people that want to put out good food and are happy being alongside each other for 10, 11 hours a day. That's absolutely key in a restaurant these days.
Mexican leading a Mexican team, what kind of challenges are you presented with being a leader of that unit that you're talking about?
Right off the bat, it helps to speak Spanish. If you don't, you kind of already are a little bit behind the eight ball. Everyone speaks English here, but they really, really love it when you will try your best to speak in their native language. If you respect the ingredients, you respect the food, and you take your time on your off days to look up, go through all these Mexican cookbooks, they will see it. Whether you tell them or not, they will see it, and they will realize that you belong there. It's just a matter of working hard, and they will respect that no matter what. That's all they ever look for, someone that's willing to work alongside them and challenge them at the same time. Because a lot of these guys, they've grown with this food since their childhood, and they've seen it their whole life. So when you replicate that same food and make them feel like, oh, this is the food that I grew up with. This guy coming in, he's great. He's doing this mole that my abuelita used to make, tortilla soup just like mom used to make. They'll open up and kind of accept you as one of their own. Like, we have a term that we used to call when you reach a certain level of respect. Maybe only in the kitchen world, but you're referred to as chingón, which means badass, I guess you could say. So, yeah, you work hard, respect the ingredients, and they will, they'll follow you.
Not everything worked out perfect. I tried some things, and sometimes that it didn't. I had this idea, but it didn't result to the outcome I desired. Is there anything that you can possibly think of that you could share, like in leadership? Like, I tried doing it this way, that really wasn't a great idea, or it backfired on me, or I'll never do that again.
I think of a story like way back when I worked at the Country Club Diner. Something that I really bunked was a batch of kugel where I left the sugar out. And everything was set up for me in dishes, all as perfectly as prep was for a cooking show. And sure enough, I did everything, I just forgot the sugar, and it ended up tasting like scrambled eggs with raisins in it. And kugel at this particular diner was one of its signature dishes. So, sure enough, I felt the wrath of everyone that week. And they never let me let it down, even after I left. I would just tell them to respect the food. I know there was like a time period where everybody was trying to throw dots on a plate with espumas and foams and crema or poblano pearls or this, that, what have you. But learn the basics of the cuisine you're about to take over first. And then you do that stuff with if you want to run as a special. When it comes down to it, the guests that are coming here, they're looking for Mexican food. They're not looking for a piece of crema and an avocado with burning hay sitting next to it. They want really good Mexican comfort food and tequila. That's what Mexican restaurants are about. Yeah, we have tacos, but here at Calaca we do pretty modern twists on the Mexican food without getting too crazy. So I would tell any chef that's looking to come into a position like this, learn the food first before you start putting those dots on the plate. That's the most important thing. Learn what all the chilies are. Learn how to make a really good mole poblano.
Who would you learn from?
So I first learned the mole poblano from Adon Trinidad, and he told me, if it wasn't any good, he would crack my knuckles with a wooden spoon. Years down the line, he finally got to try it, and he gave me the seal of approval. This was at Feastival. So we're all good in that department. But it's a very humbling moment when even your fellow employees and your team members will take the mole poblano sauce, the same sauce that they grew up on, same sauce that their abuelita made, every day or every other day, and they will pour it on the food that they're eating on their lunch break, and it's a very humbling feeling. Respect your ingredients and learn what it takes to make that cuisine first before you start trying to tweak things here and there, and it goes a long way.